In the heart of Arabia, a new faith was dawning. The Prophet Muhammad's message of Islam, a call to one God and a just society, resonated with many, yet this message was a challenge to the established order of Mecca. The Quraysh tribe, custodians of the Kaaba and the city's powerful elite, saw Islam as a threat. Their economic and social dominance was intertwined with the polytheistic beliefs and practices that Islam challenged. The Prophet's message of equality and justice undermined the Quraysh's hold on power. They feared the loss of their privileged status. The more Islam spread, the more the Quraysh felt their authority slipping away. This fear fueled their anger and resentment. The stage was set for a clash of ideologies and ambitions. The Quraysh initially tried to ignore the growing influence of Islam. They underestimated its power. However, as more and more people embraced the Prophet's teachings, the Quraysh became increasingly alarmed. They realized that this new faith was not going to simply disappear. They had to act to protect their interests. The Quraysh's response was swift and brutal. They unleashed a campaign of persecution against the Muslims. Believers were subjected to ridicule, harassment, and even torture. The Quraysh hoped to crush the nascent Muslim community before it could gain a foothold. The persecution of the Muslims in Mecca intensified. The Quraysh, blinded by their fear and anger, resorted to increasingly desperate measures. They spread false rumors about the Prophet and his followers, attempting to discredit them. They confiscated the Muslims' property, leaving them destitute. They even conspired to kill the Prophet himself. Driven from their homes, many Muslims sought refuge in Abyssinia, present-day Ethiopia. The Christian king there offered them protection. This migration, known as the First Hijrah, was a testament to the Muslims' unwavering faith. Even in the face of persecution, they refused to renounce their beliefs. The Quraysh, however, were relentless. They sent emissaries to Abyssinia, demanding the extradition of the Muslims. They even tried to bribe the Abyssinian king. Their efforts, however, were in vain. The king, impressed by the Muslims' sincerity and piety, refused to hand them over. Frustrated by their failure in Abyssinia, the Quraysh turned their attention back to Mecca. They imposed a social and economic boycott on the Muslims. They were forbidden from trading, marrying into Qurayshi families, or even speaking to them. This boycott was designed to isolate and starve the Muslims into submission. The economic boycott imposed by the Quraysh was a severe test of the Muslims' faith and resilience. Confined to a small quarter of Mecca, they faced hardship and deprivation. Food and other essential supplies became scarce. The Muslims endured these trials with patience and fortitude, their faith in God unwavering. Despite the hardships, the Muslim spirits remained high. They found solace in their faith and in the support of one another. The Prophet Muhammad was a constant source of inspiration, guiding them through these difficult times. His unwavering belief in God's promise of victory sustained them. However, the Quraysh's hostility did not end with the economic boycott. They continued to plot against the Muslims, seeking any opportunity to harm them. The threat of violence loomed large. The Muslims lived in a state of constant fear and uncertainty. The tensions between the Muslims and the Quraysh reached a boiling point with two significant provocations. The first involved Amr ibn al-Hadrami, a Meccan trader allied with the Quraysh. In a skirmish with a small Muslim patrol, Amr was killed. The Quraysh seized upon this incident, using it as a pretext to incite further hostility against the Muslims. The second provocation was even more brazen. Qutb bin Jabir, a Meccan chieftain, led a raid on a pasture belonging to the Muslims. They stole livestock, essential for the Muslims' livelihood. This act of aggression was a direct challenge to the Muslims, demonstrating the Quraysh's willingness to engage in open warfare. These provocations left the Muslims with a stark choice: to endure further aggression and humiliation, or to defend themselves. The Prophet Muhammad, guided by divine revelation, made the difficult decision to confront the Quraysh. The stage was set for the Battle of Badr, a battle that would determine the fate of Islam and the Arabian Peninsula. Section 5. The Battle of Badr, a clash of faith and power. The news that the Muslims were marching towards Badr, intent on intercepting the caravan, sent shockwaves through the Quraysh. They hastily assembled a formidable army, 3 times the size of the Muslim force, and set out to crush the perceived rebellion. The two armies clashed on the dusty plains of Badr. The Muslims, though outnumbered, were united by their faith and their determination to defend their right to exist. They fought with courage and ferocity, inspired by the Prophet's leadership and the belief that God was on their side. The battle raged for hours. The Quraysh, confident in their numerical superiority, launched wave after wave of attacks, but the Muslims, strategically positioned and fighting with unwavering spirit, repelled each assault. The tide began to turn. Section 6. Triumph against the odds, the outcome of the battle. Against all odds, the Muslims emerged victorious. The Quraysh, despite their superior numbers and weaponry, were routed. Key leaders of the Quraysh, who had been the main instigators of the persecution against the Muslims, were killed on the battlefield. The victory was a decisive turning point in the early history of Islam. The victory at Badr sent a powerful message throughout Arabia. The Muslims were a force to be reckoned with. The victory boosted the morale of the Muslims, solidifying their position in Medina and strengthening the Prophet Muhammad's leadership. It marked a shift in the balance of power in the region. The victory also had a profound impact on the relationship between the Muslims and the Jewish tribes of Medina. Some tribes, who had been ambivalent towards the Muslims, were impressed by their victory and began to reconsider their alliances. The victory at Badr paved the way for the establishment of a more unified and secure Medina. Section 7. The aftermath of victory. A turning point for Islam. The Battle of Badr sent shockwaves throughout Arabia. The unexpected victory of a small, seemingly insignificant band of Muslims against the mighty Quraysh was seen as a sign of divine favor. The victory shattered the aura of invincibility that had surrounded the Quraysh. The victory also had a profound impact on the Muslim community itself. It strengthened their faith and resolve. They had witnessed firsthand the power of their belief and the truth of the Prophet's message. The victory instilled in them a sense of confidence and purpose. The Quraysh, on the other hand, were left reeling from their defeat. They had lost many of their leaders and a significant number of their warriors. The defeat at Badr dealt a severe blow to their prestige and morale. Their grip on power in the region had been shaken. Section 8. The enduring significance of Badr. The Battle of Badr is more than just a historical event for Muslims. It is a powerful symbol of faith, courage, and divine intervention. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, victory is possible with faith in God and a willingness to stand up for what is right. The lessons of Badr resonate deeply with Muslims even today. The battle teaches the importance of unity, perseverance, and unwavering faith in the face of adversity. It highlights the significance of leadership and strategy in achieving success. Furthermore, the Battle of Badr holds a special place in Islamic history because it demonstrated the Qur'an's teachings about warfare. The Qur'an permits fighting only in self-defense and for the preservation of faith. The Muslims' willingness to fight at Badr was not driven by a desire for conquest or material gain, but by a need to protect their community and their right to practice their faith freely. Section 9. Lessons from the Sands of Time. The sands of time may have covered the battlefield of Badr, but the echoes of that momentous clash still resonate today. It teaches us that faith can move mountains, that courage can overcome fear, and that even a small group of people united by a just cause can change the course of history. The Battle of Badr also serves as a reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of adversity. The Muslims at Badr were severely outnumbered and outgunned, but they refused to compromise their beliefs or surrender their freedom. Their courage and sacrifice paved the way for the spread of Islam throughout the Arabian Peninsula and beyond. The Battle of Badr is a story of faith, courage, and the triumph of the human spirit. It is a story that continues to inspire and motivate people around the world, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, hope and justice can prevail. And so, the legacy of Badr endures, a beacon of light illuminating the path